rooted at a particular node. Let's say in this case we will only consider this sub-tree. It can be uniquely identified by the root, that is this node. And in our state we also want how many vertices do we want to choose from this sub-tree. So that is another parameter. So we have node and we have number of vertex which we want to choose from this sub-tree. And the third parameter which you have is whether it is required to take this node or not required. Now why that parameter is required, Venkatesh has explained in previous problem. I'll tell it to you again. If we took this node and if you want to take something in this sub-tree, we obviously we have to take this node which comes in between, right? So if by calling the function for this node we already had taken the parent node, then it is compulsory to take this node, otherwise it's not compulsory, right? So we have a third variable which is whether it's compulsory to take the root node or not. Is this clear? Everyone? Oh, so first two variables in this state are clear. Third variable is whether it's compulsory to choose the root in our solution or not. It will be compulsory if we had chosen the parent of the root already, because the subset has to be connected. If we choose this node and we want to choose this one, then we have to take whatever node that come in between. So for that we need this variable, the third variable in the state. Is this clear? Okay. Now we had two cases, whether choose could be 0 or it could be 1. If choose is 0, that means we may or may not take the root. If we don't take the root, then we can separately call this function for each of the child. So we can call this function for all child of the root node, and we want to select the same number of nodes which we call this function for, and the choose will again be 0 because it's still not compulsory, right? So if it is 0, that is one way. The other way is when we take the root node. So obviously the root node counts as one node. So now amongst all the childs of this node, we want to take a total of num minus 1 nodes, but we want the sub-tree to be connected. So the choose is compulsory in all of them. Is that clear? Now you have num minus 1 nodes. You want to divide it into some C childs. Each child can get a non-zero or 0 number of nodes, right? So you need another DP at a particular nodes level. So you want to know the best possible cost when you distribute X nodes in the first I childs of this node. Like if a node has, let's say, some 5 childs, each one of them has a tree. You already took this node. You have num minus 1 vertices to distribute. Let's say num is 10. So you can give 5, 0, 3, 2 and so on. You can distribute these 9 remaining nodes in any way in these childs, right? So you want to find a way which gives you maximum cost. So what you do is you define a dynamic programming solution where in this point, so you will have cost of ij, which defines the best way to distribute j vertices in first I childs of this node, right? Now the ith child itself can get anything from 0 to j, and the remaining will be taken care of by I minus 1 child, right? So if we proceed in a particular order in childs, we can solve this. So cost ij will depend on cost of I minus 1 and anything from 0 to j plus just taking this ith vertex, which will call this previous function which we are trying to define recursively. So suppose j is 10, we took 5 in I minus 1, all the remaining 5 we have to choose from this particular child. For that we can simply call this function and set choose to true, because we have to choose this child, because we have chosen the parent already.
What is cost ij denote?
Cost ij denotes the best cost for distributing j vertices between first I childs. So this has two parts. First part is how many vertices we give to the ith child and how many vertices we distribute between everything before I, that is 0 to I minus 1. So 0 to I minus 1 we already have solved because we are computing in a particular order. So this cost ij can depend on everything from cost I minus 1 and anything from 0 to j. This we can give to I minus 1 and everything which is remaining we have to give to this ith child. For that we can call function of ith child, what we want to distribute to this ith child, and choose will be set to 1 because we have chosen the root in this particular case. Is making sense? So we have to do one dynamic programming at a particular node level and another dynamic programming which we are doing on the tree itself. So essentially it requires two dynamic programming, two levels of dynamic programming. So we want to distribute these many num vertices to the subtree which is rooted at known node, and we want to say whether it is compulsory to choose this root node or not. If it is not compulsory, we can as well call all the child with just num. Let's say we didn't choose root. So let's look at this place. If we didn't choose this vertex, then we obviously cannot choose vertices from two different subsets because they have to be connected, and the only way to connect is through this. So if we didn't choose this, we simply call all the childs with exactly num. If we chose this, then we have to take another num minus 1 vertices which we can distribute in the childs. The way to distribute is using another DP, right? So we can in fact not look at the tree. That problem reduces to, you have a cost matrix which gives you for each element, for each node, what is the cost of choosing exactly num vertices from the subtree rooted at this node, and you want to distribute these many vertices to these many nodes. So you do another level of DP to get that, and obviously you have computed answer for all the childs since we are doing bottom up DP on the tree. We have cost matrix. Cost of ij denotes distributing j vertices between first I childs. Is that clear? Now for I going from 1 to number of childs, for j going from 0 to num minus 1, because these many vertices we want to choose in total. Now we will set cost of ij to some really large negative number because we want to find the maximum. So we just do some initialization. Now for k ranging from 0 to j, so this k is what the number of vertices which you want to pass on to the I minus 1 child. Is that clear? So cost of ij, you can update this as max is maximum of cost of ij or cost of I minus 1 k plus f of child I j minus k comma 1. This f is what we are trying to compute. So you want to select exactly j minus k nodes from child of I. You want to select k nodes from everything which was there previously. This is one possible way to distribute up to j nodes, exactly j nodes up to child I. Is that clear? So this is a DP which we do in each node, and overall we are doing a DP on this state. In the dynamic programming lecture, I'll start with the geometry lecture 2. So all the problems that I was discussing yesterday, they essentially didn't have any complexity component, as in you are given a problem, there are very few inputs, constant number of inputs, and you just want to solve it. So that is basic coordinate geometry, like line intersection or all. There is no meaning of complexity because your solutions are order 1. They take constant number of operations, right? Today we will discuss the other type of geometry problems. Now we'll have a different kind of input size, and we'll have complexity will matter now. So when the input size is large. So the first problem which everyone understands in computational geometry is to find out convex hull of a point, convex hull of a set of points. We'll take the 2D case because that is simple to understand. So suppose you are given a set of n points in two-dimensional plane. So you have lots of points, and you want to find out a perimeter across these points. This perimeter should be smallest possible, and it should contain all the points that are given. So you can see this perimeter will be a convex polygon. We want a convex perimeter which covers all these all the given points. So to find out this perimeter or this convex polygon, that is the problem of convex hull. Now there are various ways to solve this problem. First of all, so let's see the properties of edges on this convex polygon. If we take any edge on this convex polygon, you should notice that all the points will be on one side of this edge, right? It cannot have one point on this side, one point on that side, otherwise it will not remain convex polygon. So if we have an edge and all points are on one side of this edge, then this will be part of the convex hull of this given set of points. So this gives us a very naive way to compute convex hull. That is, we take all n square segments, we have n points, n square segments. For each segment we'll take all the points and we'll try to see if they lie on the same side of the segment or not. How can we check whether all the points will lie on the same side of the segment or not? If I have a segment and a set of points, I want to find out if all these points lie on one side of the segment or not. What we'll do is we'll find out the cross product of all the points with these segments, and they all should have the same sign, right? So for each of these segments we'll again check for all n points. So we'll get a set of segments which will complete a convex polygon. So this gives us order of n cube solution to compute convex hull of a set of points. This is a very simple method. All you need is cross product. Suppose I knew for a particular point that this point will always lie on the convex hull of this set of